I'm Rick Scott, and this is my little podcast, my little show, my little thing that I'm doing with the Dulcimer called Dulcimer My Way. And now I'm going to feature a review of all the chords that I've been talking about while I've been showing you little tricks on this instrument. Now, chord review. Everything I just played was a D chord. Any one string you play in this tuning is a D. And the tuning is D-A-D. So D-D-D-D-D, all day long we're doing D. As we're just moving one finger around on any of these strings, it's in the D family. But I did show you some other chords, so I'd just like to run those by you again real quick. There's, you know what I want to do actually is just tell you kind of a funny thing is that if that's a D chord played open, if you climb up and you just press all three down on that first fret, you're going to E. One more, you go to F sharp. If you go one more, you're G. We're playing the alphabet here, but in music you only go up as far as G and then you go back to A, and then B, and then C, and then you're back to D, which is the same as D. So those are your chords that you get to play with, and there are variations with your fingerings, but that's basically what you got on a dulcimer in this particular tuning. So the D chord, and the next chord that I taught you was the G chord, which is your first finger on the middle string in the first fret, and your pinky way down here on the third fret on the bass string. And you can play the G chord that way, but that, like I've said so many times, that's a stretch for some people. So you can also just play these two strings on the third fret, the middle string and the bass string. You can play them with two fingers or one finger, your call. That's another way to play the G chord. Another way to play the G chord is if you come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with your pointer finger on the bass string, and 6 fret with your middle finger on the middle string. That's a G chord too. Those are all G chords. And if you really want to get fancy, you can bar. Remember I went up and we got to the G chord, which was there. Sometimes I feel like I'm skipping important information. When I say bar, I mean pretend it's a bar and you throw it across all the strings. That's a bar chord. And you get to the G, and if you can do it, if you can put your finger, if you bar it on the G and you put your ring finger, or any finger that'll make it there, up 2 more frets, 1, 2, on the double string, you get a really cool G chord. And if you take this pattern on the G chord and you move it down 1, you get F sharp minor. And if you take it 1 more, you get E minor. See how you find a pattern with your fingers and then move it and you find new stuff. You can also, because these strings are the same, the outside strings are the same, you could bar your G chord, for instance, and you can put your pinky 1, 2 more frets up on the bass string, and that's easier to get at than, but it's the same kind of tone, kind of formal. Okay, so that's a G chord. And then the A chord, which is your pointer finger on the double string on the first fret, and your middle finger on the bass string on the first fret. That's your A chord. And the magic of the A chord is that once you've got that in place, you can move it all around. And it all sounds kind kind of cool. So you can play melody lines. Play melody lines using those two strings down, going up and down. It gives the melody line a little more power to sit on top of the middle string. Oh, I hope I'm not confusing you with all this information, but there's your A chord. And your A chord can be played this way, as I said, with those fingers, which is ever comfortable for you, on the first fret on the outside strings, or you can go up 2, 3, 4. There's an A chord as well. In fact, it's just an A note. All the same note, but it still works as an A chord. And if you go up 1, 2, 3 frets, and when I get up this high, I let go. It's like carrying a bag of groceries when you get up this high, which is. And if you go up 2 more, those are all A chords. And of course, if you bar it, remember that word barring, laying the finger right across all the strings. If you go up to the 4th fret, that's also an A chord. All A chords. And it's nice to know how to play all the different kinds of the chord because it gives you a different flavor. You might want to have a nice light high tone. Well, then you want to go up here and, or you might want to have just a nice kind of chord, then you're going to play it down here. It gives you different tones, it gives you different personalities to what you're playing. So play around with that a bit. Okay, so now I've taught you the D is any one string played, and the G, and the A. And now I'm going to show you the B minor chord, which is this B minor. I don't know why, I'm just crazy for a B minor. And that is first finger, your pointer finger on the 1st fret, middle string, and then whichever finger you decide to. I use my ring finger on the 2nd fret, bass string, right there. Yeah. Now there's other ways to play a B minor. You can play it like that, or you can go up 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 5th fret and just play these two. Same middle string, bass string on the 5th fret. Same as. But again, it gives you that different kind of tone to it. So you can put different spice on the dish of music that you are preparing for your friends. Ooh, that's deep. Okay, there's your B minor chord. And again, I'm just going to say that when you find a chord that you like, a fingering that you like that sounds good to you, move it around. You'll find so many more things that'll sound good to you. And even if you don't know what to call it, if it sounds good, if it feels good, it's going to call you to sing along with it. It's going to call you to make up a little tune about it. I hope, I think. So give those chords a try. And remember, D, E, F sharp, not just an F, but an F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. That's a C, C sharp, D. And then while you're there, if you just lay it across that top fret, where you see where you that there? If you just lay it real lightly, you not only can go D, but you can go harmonic D. You gotta lay it really lightly on those strings, just like a feather, right directly above this fret.